Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for a crypto highlight video. So this highlight video is going to be about RSR, which I believe is reserve rights crypto. So, we're going to be looking at the monthly, the weekly, and the daily chart. I'm going to try and give you the macro. I'm going to try and give you like the midterm sort of macro look to the long term, and then obviously I'll try and do short term macro to also like something you look at within the week to a couple weeks out into the future. But like looking at the monthly chart again, like most cryptos, they don't have a ton of information, right? So there's not really much we can see here. What we can see though is that RSR did lose its previous all-time low, right? So it lost its previous all-time low and now has consolidated under. And this current monthly candle does show continuation to the downside, only because it has one more level to lose before there's nothing but air, which is really this level right here. Let's actually mark it. So this low here, this monthly wick low here in May, which is at 0.0033. If that's lost, then on the monthly, RSR is in air and it's going to be looking for a floor. Who knows how low that is, right? So, definitely got to keep your eye out for this level here. We'll keep that marked. Let's go down to the weekly and see if there's anything else. Anything else. And you know what? Let's actually mark the previous all-time low as well. So we'll mark the previous all-time low as well, because what do you see? I see something interesting here, right? Over the last couple months, I'm seeing some sort of range that's formed here. So we'll keep that there. These two black lines are going to be the monthly low, previous monthly low, and then the all-time low currently. Let's go down to the weekly, see if we see anything. Wow, look at that. Okay, so this chart is, this is incredible. When you see something like this on the weekly, these candles are usually actually fairly normal, right? And on the weekly, you're seeing you're seeing volatility, you're seeing volume. This was such a squeeze that's nuts, and then you have a lot of these fake out wicks, and this one was brutal. So this is very interesting to see, and they're really respecting the previous all-time low. So this is very interesting to see. Does it give us any more information? Well, we do have a trend line here that I would look out for. So this trend line right here, is it red? No, I'll make it red so it's a little clearer. This trend line right here is going to be very interesting to see. Now, this trend line's a little special, so I'm gonna say something about it that I want to make sure you keep in mind. Now, I do not expect this trend line to break at all. No time soon. As you can see, there's a reason why. Look how far out into the future it goes. It goes all the way out until almost 2030. Now, this trend line is going to be very interesting because this trend line will, in my opinion, be the factor. Will RSR be a asset for the future, right? Now, this doesn't mean RSR won't have pumps within this level, right? But is this actual asset, which I really don't know anything about? I have some, admittedly, I do have a bag of this. I do own some of this from a long time ago, but I sold and took profits years ago. I haven't really looked at it since, and I don't really know the project. But if this project is to be something, this trend line here will be eventually a change of character for for the years to come. Okay, now we're talking 20, 30 years. Now I don't know if this is going to be something around that time. The odds are probably not. But this trend line is important because what happens from here is you're seeing a massive potential of a descending wedge structure, right? So what you can be looking at here is over the years you'll have during the crypto cycles, you'll have these highs that may come to this level, you'll have fails like that, stuff like this will happen. And if this is an asset that will survive this entire time and go into legitimacy, whatever that may be, then you'll look for this to break out. It's not going to happen, something like this. Okay, what's more likely to happen in all seriousness, you'll never get above that trend line again, and this asset will die, failing at whatever it's trying to do. Okay, those are the probabilities, but we want to chart this because we're just looking at the technicals. We don't know the fundamentals, right? So you're just looking at the technicals. This trend line is going to stay on this chart for over 10 years, in my opinion. This will be there for a long time. Now, let's go down to the daily and see what we're looking at. So looking at the daily, what's interesting about this that I can see is just like most crypto, this unfortunately was showing the potential signs of a change of character on the daily, but because of FTX, it failed. So what am I talking about? As you can see, we were in this pretty powerful range for quite some time. pretty much probably since June or May, June, yeah. And then we traded within this for quite a while. And interestingly enough, RSR kind of front ran the markets because Bitcoin didn't really have a breakout from its range until I would say end of October to the beginning of November. And then FTX news came out fairly recently and brought it all down. Well, for this, it seems like that's what happened here. But let's go back. Let's kind of clean this up and make this clear. So as you can see, it's fighting around the previous monthly all-time low pivot right here at about 00751. So getting above it, coming back below, oscillating around that level. Hasn't made it back down to the actual all-time low yet, but we might be doing that now. But take a look at the change of character that did happen, right? So this change of character did happen. We had this high here, right? Then we made another low here, which was about within the actual range low. And then we made a new higher high. So let's actually connect these two. And we'll change the color of this to blue, just so we know it's the daily. So this is the beginning, potentially, of a new change of character. We finally took out the highs here, grabbed the liquidity, and then we came back down. And take a look what happened. What happened here? We had a new low pivot formed, and it was higher than the last. So we were really showing signs. Hey, a change of characters happening. We can connect these levels here, and everything was looking solid, right? Everything was looking great. But unfortunately, here's when the FTX stuff came out, and it sold right off. So we lost that structure. And now, what I'm looking for is this sort of structure down here indicates that we should see a grind up. Now, this doesn't mean that we've bottomed out. It actually usually means that we're actually going to have a continuation to the downside, but we'll likely have a grind up. And sometimes you get all the way back towards the level where you break out from. So that's why you want to keep this trend line, so this low to this low, on your chart, because you may actually end up seeing price get back to there, and that would be a prime place to potentially begin a short structure. And you're also going to be trading within this bearish fair value gap, right? So all the liquidity here is going to be very interesting. This level here is also going to provide a lot of resistance for the bids to get past it. And it's very likely you will see price fail off of this level and then continue down to take out these lows and probably make new lows on the year. Okay, so just watch out for that. Now, we don't see any signs that this is going to be a bullish consolidation yet. Okay, there's not enough information. Okay, so this can change if we do get some bullish structures form. So what would that look like? So let me show you both the bullish and bearish. I am seeing signs for the bearish structure already. So pretty much the bearish structure, you'll have it veer up, and it's already starting to show signs of that. Okay, so if we get another daily candle above this high, and it's not a trending move up, it's just veering up. Like I've always said, bearish structures tend to have a bias to the upside, slow grinds to the upside, and bullish to the downside. It's very important you understand this. You have to kind of flip your mind, because if you read common TA or you listen to common TA practitioners, they're saying, oh, if it goes up it's bullish, if it goes down it's bearish. That's correct if you're looking at a trend, but if you're looking for prime opportunities to enter a position, whether that's in trend on the macro level, or you're looking to counter trend, you need to know that idea that upside in a grinding structure is bearish, okay, and then downside in a grinding structure, not a trending, grinding, is bullish. All right, that's very important to understand. Again, I go over a lot of this in more detail. And also in more clarity in the tutoring services. So make sure if you want to learn, you look at those services. The links will be found in the description below via the Patreon and Discord. Now, if we do grind up and we start tapping this fair value gap, I think it'd be a great prime opportunity to start a short position. Okay, and I would try and target this ascending trend line as being the ideal level. If you want to try and go for the low hanging fruit and try to open up down here, great. But I do think it'd probably be best RR if you're gonna try and grab for the top side here, because you're gonna want to give this room if you're looking to short RSR, because you can get easily invalidated, and it's a lot cheaper to be wrong up here rather than down here, right? So if you're gonna go short up here, whether that's right at the line here or right at the top of the FVG. Let's just say you go short at the line. You can just picture your stop right at the swing high here or right above. So that's only a 23%. Again, I'm not talking about if you have leverage or anything like that, but if you are using leverage, of course, you're going to have to finagle around because this is a very large percentage. But if you're just using a percentage of your spot account and you're doing like a one, first off, you can short with no leverage. You just go on 1x. So if you're doing that, then this won't, then that's fine. Again, as long as it's not 100% of your account. And then what you would target next is obviously pretty much the lows here, right? You either target the lows here or you try to go lower. But doing the lows here is good enough because you're doing a 2-to-1 anyway. So you're getting a very good RR, and it's very easy to get invalidated here. Like, it's very clear because if it takes out these highs over here, it's extremely likely it will pull back but have a higher low that forms, and then you're starting again. You're pretty much going to be doing what was probably going to happen here, and that's continue an uptrend in this bear market. So watch for that grind up. Now what happens if we have a bullish structure forming here? Well, watch for price action to kind of veer down, and as it grinds lower towards this support level, it starts making a wedge structure, right? Some sort of wedge structure. That's what you want to see, because that tends to lead to a nice significant move higher that tends to be prolonged. And wedges are very easily measured because you just measure from the high to the low. You can get a measured move. And I'll tell you this right now, the measured move will most likely be inside this fair value gap, right? Or towards this top trend line up here. So I love this. I love the potential of the trades here. But right now you'll have to wait. You do want to respect that, you are in a downtrend on the macro structure and that you lost a major range in consolidation that was forming since May to June. Now, is there anything else that we can see? Well, we also want to highlight this level here. So taking a look at this bottom of the range right here. All right, so this is the bottom of the range. Well, actually, we'll flatten it out just so there we go. So you also want to look for this level, which again also forms with the fair value gap, and then you also have the low right here. So we'll actually mark that as well, which is right here. Oop. And we'll change that to blue as well so it matches. So you have this fair value gap is major resistance, right? So now you have a place where going short makes sense, and then also targeting a long makes sense as well. But I would only go long if you're coming into this monthly pivot level down here at 0.0033. If you try and go long now, you're in the middle of the range and the risk is just, it's too much. So let's say you went long now, look at the risk that you're looking at. You're looking at a potential 20% plus drop down to the monthly pivot when you can just try and target that level. Okay, and if you miss the long, just wait for it to get up to here. You're likely going to find some major resistance in this zone and look to take a short, and then try and target either the lows here, or if you start forming like FVGs on the way up, look to target the fair value gaps that form on the rise to this level. All right. And I think that's everything I see right now. I don't really see much more on this chart, but the major level to watch for is really this FVG and then this rising trend line here. You don't really need to have this trend line here. Just want to highlight that this was a high and then this is a higher high, and that's about it. That's about it. I will say if it does overtake this ascending trend line, then you want to be on the lookout for this high to get taken out, and that's going to be a major trend change, and potentially a confirmation of a double bottom structure, right? Because this didn't get taken out yet, so you would be looking at potentially like a higher, like an Adam and Eve double bottom if that were to happen. But you have to have the bias right now, I believe, that you will see RSR break under that monthly pivot and make new lows. Now, if it makes new lows off this monthly pivot, watch the liquidity below this level. It should be massive. It should be massive, and you should have a nice rebound from that level. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to go lower, but it should be massive, and you should have a nice chance at a nice rebound. Just be wise on where you exit, okay? All right, everyone, that's it for RSR. Again, like I mentioned before, make sure to check out the links below if you want to join the Discord, which is free, or you want to join the services, for the swing trades, the day trading room, or the tutoring sessions. Make sure to check out the Patreon. I also have a crypto payment bot in the Discord, so if you want to pay with crypto instead of fiat, you can do that as well. And also, just give me a like, give me a subscribe, make sure to leave a comment, give me some advice or some criticism. I would like to make the services better. I'd like to make the content better. And also, if you are in the Discord, make sure to drop an asset that you want me to go over, especially now since it's still free and open for everyone else. Because this content that I'm doing here will only be for premium members after November. Okay. All right, everyone. Remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.